Hey, welcome. Welcome to my little corner of the internet. I'm glad that you're here. So it is the full moon today, bright and early for us. It happened, at least for me, Pacific time. It happened at 4 in the morning, so I was still pretty sleepy, but I did wake up for just a minute. Um, yeah. And special occasion is that today Saturn has tipped itself into Pisces, into that ocean of Pisces. I've got my copal. I love this incense. Um, Lisa turned me on to this beautiful copal, and I found a store that sells it here in the States. Oh, that's so exciting. I didn't know if I would find it again without going to Mexico. So I'm glad that it's here. It is very strong. So I'm going to kind of blow it out. There we go. Just a little bit, just to welcome in you guys. Hey, all right. So yeah, where was I? I was talking about full moon. That's today, early in the morning. It's in Virgo. And so I got this really beautiful feeling that, you know, Virgo is such a beautiful sign. It's a sign of you know, organization and like divine order. That's what I love to see it as, is that divine order where if you look around at in nature, everything is in its own divine order, right? Like things are in their own cycles and everything is perfect, even if there are imperfections. Even those imperfections are perfect. So I brought in some flowers from outside. It's so green and lush out there. And so I picked a few to bring in to just kind of have that outside earthy vibe in here. It's so nice. So yeah, Virgo energy. It's also a sign of deep service and service to the whole, where that divine order is not just for itself, serving itself, it's for everyone's benefit. So, yeah, look to your Virgos because they will probably have some piece of life figured out and have it all perfect in some area of their life. It is divine perfection. And so, Virgos have that down. And we all have Virgo in our chart. And so you can actually take a peek and see, where does Virgo live in your chart, even if you don't have any planets or anything important important hanging out there. It is still a piece of you and still a piece of you that is divinely perfect. So take a peek and see, where does Virgo hang out? And that might give you a clue about what this moon is illuminating, because maybe in that little slice of Virgo for you, you've actually got some things that you feel are out of whack or not in divine harmony and alignment. And there might be some things tugging and pulling on that Virgo energy, and really that's just trying to get your attention for what you can put back into place, all neat and tidy. So yeah, take a peek at your chart. And then the other thing to look at is Saturn. Saturn is going into Pisces right now, today, full moon and this. And the whole thing with Saturn going into Pisces is that Saturn moves very, very slow. And so it moves so slow that it's going to take several years for us to actually move all the way out of Saturn hanging out with Pisces. So, whew, yeah. And so what is that energy? It is about um maturity and responsibility and just learning how to look at what it is that you need to work on and doing it gracefully, doing it joyfully. Like a lot of times people kind of give Saturn a bad rap. And Saturn is not one to pat you on the back if you're procrastinating and lazy. Saturn pushes you to keep going, even if you don't want to keep going. And so Saturn will push and uh, whip you into shape of like, all right, come on, get your stuff in order. But it's all for the best. It's all for your highest good. Saturn is not doing these things to be stern or difficult. It's actually trying to get you back on track and get you back into your healthiest version of you. So also take a look at where Saturn is now starting to hang out in your chart. And that will actually, this whole thing will give you a huge illumination of what it is that, first of all, we'll be working with for the next 6 months, because this Virgo energy will ride itself out 6 months, and then Saturn for the next few years. So putting that together, what is it trying to illuminate for you? What is it trying to get you to put back in order? What is it trying to what is it leveling you up in? So, yeah, with that, let's just go ahead and dive into a reading. Ah, yeah. I'm gonna pull from the Starseed Oracle. I feel these are so gentle, and I feel like with all this energy we need gentle. And I do actually feel like there's a good amount of gentle happening in the chart, although I did not study the chart at length today, but I feel there's a certain gentleness. So I did not actually ask what these, I did not set an intention for these yet. So I'm just gonna flash them and put them right back in. But take a look. Loosen your grip. I remember. And then your life is a canvas. So with that, let's loosen our grip around creativity and remember how to just ask for what we need. Because Virgo moon, she is of service today, and she is asking you, what do you need? What do you need? And she is happy to help you. So let's get some. Oh my, too many cards, too many cards. Let's ask for Miss Mama Moon, Mama Kia. Okay, Mama Kia, I understand you have so much to say, but let's just do one card, okay? Let's just do one card. Very eager moon. Okay, so what would you like to share with us, Miss Virgo Mama Kia? Oh, there you are. There you are. Interesting. Okay, so this came out upside down. I'm gonna actually pay attention to that. Um, I love Virgo energy because it's also very specific. And so sometimes when things come out upside down, I don't actually feel like that is essential. Today it is. Today it is essential. This is the crossing the T and the dotting the I. So this came out upside down. It is lifting the veil. And so since it is upside down, we're actually going to take the medicine of closing, which I think is interesting. Let's just ask for a little bit more on that. I do think it's interesting. Saturn going into Pisces, that right there is it. Saturn restricts. It is, it likes to put boundaries. Saturn is very good on boundaries. And it is going into Pisces, which normally lives in the 12th house. Pisces is at home. That is its home, the 12th house, which is beyond the veil. So I think it is interesting that we have something asking us, well, we just specifically asked the moon, didn't we, to close the veil. Let's find out more about that. So what would she like us to know more about closing the veil? Closing the veil. And I'm just reading here. It says, question everything. Anything aligned must go. Anything unaligned. Gotta be specific. Gotta be specific. Okay. So what is it that you'd like us to know about closing the veil? Okay, big. I'm going to allow her to have her big. She wants to talk a lot. So I'm just going to give it to her. Okay. Portal. Upside down. Interesting. Close, close, close. There's a door that needs to be closed. Okay. Baby steps. Interesting. Baby steps. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Oh, before it makes sense. So this is a go. This is a get ready, set, go. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is coming. I think I'm understanding this a little better. So right now with Saturn moving in, I'm just going to keep harping on this for a bit because this is important. We're going to be living in this energy for the next few years. So right now with Saturn at 0 degrees, this is portal energy, but this is also it is, we can't go through the doorway with too many things. We have to go light and easy. And so what we've got going on here is we are being asked, there it is, the portal. We're being asked to close out something. And so we have been in an area of maturity and ripening all of our lessons, our Saturnian lessons in Aquarius, just as of yesterday. And so maybe taking a look at where Saturn was in Aquarius and what house that's in for you. And maybe at a later date, I'll go through each of the houses sometime and do a little video on what do each of the houses mean. But for now, I'm sure you can do that research yourself and take a peek and see just that one. What is Saturn now coming to completion with? Because this is a place that you have gained some mastery over, you have learned some big lesson about, you have actually matured in this area. And so taking a peek, and then with this, all of the details all laid out. I'm hearing it like very specific, like maybe do a little bit of reflection on what it is that you've actually finished up. You've finished something big. So what have you finished? And what are you moving into? Because now the next piece of this is the baby steps. And take a look. We've got this like door energy big time, right? The veil, the portal, these are mega doorways. And then what do we see here with baby steps? This tiny doorway and this woman or somebody coming through the doorway, or perhaps going through this doorway. Is she coming or going? That's up to you. But that this is a brand new door. I have a dog hair on my screen. Luna is everywhere. So, oh my God, in this house we call Luna, that's my dog, we call her the portal beast because she guards the door. So, maybe you greet that guardian of the door. Greet the guardian. Oh my gosh, I'm getting all like, yeah. Greet the guardian at the gate of Pisces. This is your, this is wow, Pisces energy is like, that is our veil lifted on the inside. That Pisces energy, wherever Pisces is for you, wow, that's the place where you can go off into the great beyond in your internal realm. More on that later. But yeah, these are baby steps into that direction. And then it also says forge, don't follow, which is pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. And something that has been coming up for me recently is times when I'm in a certain situation, possibly, with people, or let's just go ahead and like narrow down the example because this is a broad brush stroke in my life of not getting my needs met in a certain way that I need them to be met. And so, very specifically, like at work, I had a situation where, I was having a casual conversation, and what was coming back to me was not actually meeting my need at the time. And since you're at work, it wasn't something that I felt I needed to, like, all right, my need didn't get met. Well, who will meet my need? And it was me. So, and I know I'm being vague with this situation because I don't really want to get too much into like story of it, because I want to really invite you into your own times where you've encountered your need not getting met, and it being one that's really important to you. Like maybe you weren't, like whatever you were feeling wasn't being witnessed or validated or heard, or in some way you felt kind of brushed off, or that whoever it was that was talking to you didn't really think it wasn't important to them, and so it didn't, yeah, for you it touched on something tender and kind of it hurt. And so taking a look at that and actually, this whole forge, don't follow, be the leader you wish you had. It also means being the parent you wish you had, being the friend you wish you had, be that piece of you that gives you that need without looking outward, without trying to get that need met by people. And it always coming back in a way that doesn't quite meet the expectations. Like you do that for you. So maybe have that conversation with yourself about if you met you and you were going through that, what would you sit down and talk about? How would you meet that need? So that's just my feel on that. And this is also like super courageous energy. This whole energy of where did it go? Yeah, the follow your intuition before it makes sense. That's a humongous leap of faith. And so that really requires the baby step that you just do it like one tiny little piece. I had this really cool thing happen to me yesterday. I'm out walking my dog, and there's one, just to kind of paint the picture a little bit. My dog is super reactive on a leash. Does not she's a great little doggy, but she just wants to play with every single dog she sees out there and will pull and tug, and she looks kind of ferocious doing this because she's a big old, like, husky. And so when you meet the teeny tiny little doggy on the street and we have to go past, it kind of can be a little tense because, yeah, that energy is like we're trying to restrict her from playing and ah, yeah, you can imagine, right? So I had this cool intuition moment or I was coming up across like a corner that I can't see around. And I had a flash of go the other way. And it wasn't such a strong flash of go the other way that I was like, all right, we're going. It was a little more hazy, where it was kind of more of a suggestion, like maybe go the other way. And I ignored it. I was like, I'm already on this path. Fine, I'll just keep going. I'm not sure why I felt that, or, I didn't quite take it seriously. And then sure enough, around the corner, luckily there was no dog involved, but it was just a guy walking down. And, that was no big deal, but it would have been a much bigger deal had there been a dog attached to that person. So I just think that it was kind of one of those little flashes of you validating your own intuition. And if you can find those spots in your week or in your month where you had that knowing, and did you follow it or did you not follow it? And what was the result? Because we're Saturn in Pisces is also going to teach us how to be very diligent in our spiritual practice, whatever that might be. And because Pisces is a very spiritual sign. It's the sign of crossing right on over the veil. And Saturn is going to come and be the teacher of how to navigate that, how to navigate your intuition. And by the time we actually get through these few years with Saturn being our teacher across the veil hanging out, he's going to probably show us all those times when you had those couple little choices and you had that flash of maybe you pick that one and then you chose either, what happened when you chose one or the other. And then do the reflecting. This whole upside down business, do the reflecting and actually see it through. What happened when you chose one direction over the other? And then that being kind of forging that path of your own intuitive guidance, being your own leader, being your own teacher. This is a really cool moon. So this is kind of like the beginning of I kind of feel like it's yet another a new year at Hogwarts. So here we go. We're gonna dive into this one. So get your textbooks now, because today is the textbook sale. That means what I'm saying with that is ask for what you need. Ask for what you need so that this new journey with Saturn can be graceful. You can do it with your eyes open. I think that's another one. When we cross these veils and cross the portals, these are very dimensional shifts. So, how can you get new eyes on the situation? Okay. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm pulling on this little deck. This is just a whole bunch of words and it says clarity liminal. So clarity in the liminal realm. That's pretty epic. So what we're gaining right now or what we're stepping into is learning the next level of maturity with being able to see this kind of these in between spaces more clearly. Spirit, that's the next one. I'm going to read. I know I'm these little tiny words are not easy to read, but it says, connect to your highest good. Remember that you are an eternal being in a physical body. Call on your otherworldly support. Everything you truly need is at your disposal. And I'm hearing it is definitely time to make best friends with your higher self, your eternal self. It's that divine spark in you that when we leave this physical realm is what you return to. And it's you. So I'm hearing big time reconnect to your liminal spirit, the you that you can't always see or touch or feel. And which I also think is another thing that's interesting, because Saturn is all about time and reality. And it's going into Pisces. Wow, this is big. This is really big energy. We're like seriously unpacking it here. Of like, what does it mean to actually move into this space? And it is going to be kind of a liminal space. I wonder what reality will look like these next few years. What will change in our reality? What will become different? And so I'm really, really feeling closing out the final little pieces of that puzzle that you feel like you've in some way you've gotten clear about. There's something that you are really, really clear about, and you're ready to close that door. So, look inside and see, what are you really ready to close out? Yeah. Let me see. I feel there's a couple things. This reading might be long, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It's very time is a blur with these, but I would love to call out a angel ancestor with these cards. So with this whole new chapter, this new learning that we're going to be embarking on with Saturn, and then all of the help that this Virgo moon is offering us, what message do we have from this deck? What message do we have from this deck? Here we are. This is it. Interesting. This was also upside down. We're getting a lot of upside down cards. Things are flipping. Yeah, we're getting, things with when we turn, especially with something like Saturn, which is literally our reality, things flip and turn. So we are actually seriously in that moment where things are flipping. And look at this one, mountains. Saturn is very akin with mountains as well. If you think of like Capricorn, Saturn rules Capricorn, and Capricorn is that little mountain goat. Well, Saturn is the mountain. The goat just walks up the mountain. So here we have stand your ground, but the medicine of this card is flipped. Stand your ground. I'm hearing loosen the edges. Loosen the edges. And I'm also really feeling like we're going to be learning how to ground in a different way. Learning how to ground in a way that's actually more attuned to who you are now. So finding, like, this is going to require us really listening to our body, because sometimes what we need to ground is we need to eat or sleep, take a shower, but maybe it's also more esoteric. What you need to ground is possibly reading a good book that has some important yummy information to keep keep you strong and keep you moving forward. I'm just hearing this, like the mountain being flipped. I feel a little bit of a lack of motivation coming in, that the mountain feels kind of hard to climb. And so I'm feeling like this is asking us to find sources of motivation. And that those sources, obviously, they always come from inside. But, finding a way to actually move them from inside so they're not so abstract, and finding a way that maybe like putting some little reminders around, if you've got like a book that is keeping you motivated, because this is also going to be our dedication to our spiritual growth. And so cultivating a spiritual practice for once, maybe you struggle with that. I know that for me, I really like to have variety, and I like to have different things every day. And if you're like that, it might be hard to find some structure in having a spiritual practice. But maybe it's because the spiritual practice doesn't always look like this. Maybe it looks like this. And maybe balancing, having different things that keep you dedicated to your growth and development, but maybe it's a little bit different every day. Maybe you have one thing that you do for a week, and then the next week you do something else. But the whole point is to just keep going. I keep hearing this, like, it doesn't matter what it is, just do one little thing, and keep going, and you will climb that mountain. Just going, keep going, because there's no going back. This portal is closed. There's no going back. There is only forward. And so finding your way through, finding it, getting clarity on how to move through that space. Because right now we literally are in a liminal space. And then calling in your your strongest, most devoted, loyal guides that help you keep doing this every single day diligently, even if it's something super duper duper tiny, like baby steps. Think of a baby, they don't even walk. So what is a baby step if a baby doesn't walk? A baby step, like literally, you don't really start walking until you're a toddler, right? This is not toddler steps. This is baby steps. And so what is that? It means you're holding on to something, and you put one little foot out and you fall down, and that's okay, right? Or like, this is not perfect. Nothing about this is perfect, but this is also your divine child that is so, like, let your divine child actually be the one that helps you cultivate your spiritual practice, because it remembers who you were when you were excited for every single new thing. And so this forging, don't follow, follow your heart, follow yourself, follow your inner guidance, follow that thing that is exciting. Find that thing that's exciting, that makes you want to keep doing it every day, even if it looks completely different every single day. Or maybe you're one of those amazing people that I really just like, amazing how you can do a dedicated practice every single day. And it's been that practice for years, and it just ages so gracefully that the spiritual practice, say like you write a poem every morning. Well, those first poems probably were kind of clunky, but at this point now, you've got 800 books of poems, and I'm sure there's gems in there. that you could reflect on and take a look and see. Maybe there's some that are ready to be shared. But and then for people that don't have that kind of spiritual practice, those kind of things age with within you. And so that's where you get that clarity of self, that clarity of your own liminal spirit. So I feel like that is a beautiful reading, really, really potent, as they always are. I don't ever feel like I get a reading that is not super juicy on this channel. Like, yeah, I always put the intention that we get a reading that is for our absolute highest good. And so this one, we're beginning a whole new chapter. So here, I really feel like because Virgo loves plants, such a nature nuggety, like it's a very nice nurturing sign that we just need plants. So we're gonna do the herb, the herb deck. So let's go ahead and call on an herb for this Virgo full moon. Okay. A plant. What plant? What plant? There it is. There it is. Here's our plant. We just need this all the time on this channel. My goodness. Dandelion. Dandelion. This is the time, it's spring coming up around the corner. And dandelions really, they help us detox, which is, the Virgo energy right now is getting us to purify, getting us to be clean. Virgo likes things to be clean. And so clean and tidy. And so this is detox with dandelion. And I love how huge the sun is with this. It's like fill yourself with warmth with the sun. The sun also has its own detoxifying, purifying qualities. So there you go. I'm going to read Dandelion, which if you've been on this channel before, we're just going to read it again because I feel like this happens a lot. Okay, here we go. Dandelion. Dandelion is bold and bright and sunny. She pushes through the cracks in cement and worms her way into the mortar of stone walls. Cheerfully. Dandelion's medicine is perseverance, but not the perseverance of the martyr. Instead, Dandelion is the eternal optimist, like the fool in the tarot deck. She's always happy to set off on a new adventure in hope of learning more and digging deeper. She's not an airy optimist, she's not an airy optimist, though, with no grounding in reality. Her roots are strong. She's the shaman and the Buddha, and her message is this: happiness is an inner landscape that has little to do with where you're planted. When you're ready to make your own joy, whatever life throws at you, call on Dandelion. And I think that is a beautiful message. And thrive where you are planted. Wow. And so, this whole thing of like moving into a new chapter, if there are things that you're not satisfied with, or things are not as ideal as you would like them to be, dandelion is a really good herb to call on to thrive regardless of your situation. Like whatever is happening is a lesson that you need to learn, and dandelion will help you learn it. Will help you get through it joyfully. It'll help you bust through the cracks and come up strong as ever, regardless of if you're planted in the most luscious, delicious garden full of fertilizer, or if you're planted at some construction site with toxic sludge running 3 inches away from you. You have seen that dandelion, and that dandelion doesn't care. It is going to thrive anyway. And so that dandelion is for you. You can thrive exactly where you are, because exactly where you are is where you need to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. You'd be somewhere else. So thrive. Get some dandelion tea. Let's all do this. Let's get some, because this is medicine for me too. I need to freaking thrive where I am as well. So none of us get to dodge these lessons. And okay, that was our beautiful Virgo speaking. And then let's go ahead and call on there's a lot to focus on this chart, but I just want to focus on two, otherwise it'd be too much, too big. We've got big enough things. This one is crystal, Saturn crystals. That's what's required. So let's go ahead. Our dear teacher, Saturn, go ahead and give us a crystal as we walk through. Saturn was very like, all right, thank you. All right. What is this? I'm like flashing it to you guys. You guys read it. What is it? It's peridot. Peridot. Interesting. So much life in you. Ooh, look at that. Look at that card. Let's go ahead and make this card bigger so that you can see 95. Look at that card. I just love it. It's in here, we're talking about this garden, and it looks like a doorway with a chalice and such. Everything's thriving. I love it. Okay, so it says, deep in your heart, there's a place of verdant joy and shining wellness, where moss carpets the rocks and tree trunks are crisscrossed by flowering vines. The air is rich with birdsong, and every breath is crisp and vibrant, reaffirming life. In this magical and miraculous inner landscape, anything is possible. You can sip from the well of wisdom, play with the strands of time, and restore your soul when it grows world-weary. This is a space where peridot lives, spiraling through the never-ending green. Come dance with me, she whispers. There is still so much life in you. Restore your spirit and remember your bliss. So look at what we get to carry in with us into this next chapter is remembering your bliss, remembering those places inside of you that are just green and mossy and lush and vibrant and so full of life and richness, because this is like a chalice. And it looks like very holy grail. Like you sip that, it is eternal life. So drink up. Drink up. I may have to go and see if I have any peridot hanging around and make a crystal elixir with it. Actually drink it. Don't drink the rock. Drink the water. But yeah, how cool is that? Okay, I feel like we need everybody. So I'm gonna ask an animal too, because the cards are just like, hey, what about us? So let's go ahead. We'll do an animal too. All right, so an animal for this time for all of us. Oh, look at that, the deer. The deer are coming in. I like that, the white-tailed deer. Pause, assess, and act. Interesting. pausing at the gate before we rush on through, baby steps. So it says right here, step delicately and truly, dear advises. Trust your intention, intuition, and your ability to move decisively. The first step in taking decisive action is to pause, get the lay of the land. Never one for snap decisions, dear freezes, feeling into each new situation, reaching out with all her senses, then steps gracefully and surely into whatever's next. She'll gift you with self-confidence, especially as you move through life's cyclical changes, those times when one season of your life is ending and another is about to begin. Trust Deer's medicine to help you make a definitive decision and then step into it with grace. So Deer is coming in to tell us to just, we're at this 0 degrees spot, this magical moment where we move into the next several years of a deep learning cycle. And this learning cycle, let's make an intention. And Deer, for me personally, this is a guide of the heart. There's something very special about the connection of Deer and heart energy. Deer has often been as the skin that is used for the drum frame to make a drum, and as well as horse. But anyway, deer is one of the animals that has long been used to honor drumming, and drumming is your heartbeat. And so one of the things that deer is really good at doing is getting you into your heartbeat so that you can actually make your intention from there. And then from there, make that first baby step towards where you want to go. So pause, intend, and then act. So, oh, interesting. It says pause, assess, act. And that was just something I said. Pause, intend, and act. And then it is up on the top a little bit different. So take a pause, reflect on what you most need right now. What do you need? And ask for it. You've got the whole team around you ready to be of service, to help you. So ask for what you need. Okay, that is that for our reading today. I would always love to hear from you. So you're welcome to drop a comment, find me on Instagram and send me a note there. If you prefer to be private, I don't care. Send me a little note to know that you were there, because I always like to know that I am not just speaking out to the void. Hello. So I'm so grateful for you, and I am so excited for you and your journey, this big old whopping new set of wheels we're gonna add on to our little vehicles. So here we go. Peace out. I'll see you in a couple years. No, I'm kidding. I'll see you next week. I have been being very gentle with myself. That's why I'm not always going to post every single week. I want to leave room to actually, like I say all the time here on this channel, actually do the work. And so a lot of the work for me over here, I've been doing deep purging of the house, I'm basically doing spark joy as much as I can. And really just lightening the weight of my physical belongings, and then also starting to do more of a physical spiritual practice. That takes a lot of motivation for me. I would love if my spiritual practice was just reading all the books that I love to read. But yeah, Saturn is asking me to be more physical and do this spiritual work physically. So that requires me to actually do the thing. And so sometimes I won't be here. I will be here. But it doesn't mean I'm gone. And so, yeah, I want all you guys to also do what you need to do to actually cultivate whatever Saturn's asking you to cultivate, and um, do it to the best of your ability, because, he actually doesn't take any less than that. Yeah. So we'll say goodbye to the cards right here with you. So we'll say goodbye. Thank you to the mountain. I just want to keep hanging out. Like, that's basically what it is. I just want to keep hanging out. So we'll say goodbye to these. Thank you. We'll say goodbye to these. Thank you. The guides always come in so beautifully with these readings. I'm always just so in awe of the detailed messages that we get here together. I never know what I just hop on, turn the camera on, and hope that I don't fumble through all the words. So, yeah, I'm learning all this right alongside you guys, and it stretches me. I hope it's stretching you in good and beautiful ways. So, there we go. All my cards are put away for next time. Look at that, doing this Virgo energy together of like, let's put our stuff away, and why not do it together? So I'm going to keep putting stuff away and keep chatting with you. I would like to start doing a couple things where I maybe do another like shamanic journey or something with everyone and invite you guys. I haven't done that in a really long time. I'm starting to feel kind of motivated to do one. If that's something that you would like to do with me, let me know, because that'd be cool. It would be great to have you there, and do some of these practices together. So, all right, that's that. I've put my stuff away, and you have been with me the whole time. And so I will see you next time. All right. Bye.